And I am tore up. I am just saw a couple videos. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. We've been up since 3. It's still, when I say up, I'm just saying like that's the time that we're up doing treats and making tea and stuff. But there's lots of times through the night that we're up at the, but there's nights that I don't want to just be like, oh, my life sucks. That's not at all what I'm coming out with. But, it's like real. It's not, it's rough sometimes. Rough. But this morning, so I just sat down and I was drinking my tea. The dog's been going wild and playing and stuff. So I watched a couple videos and it's like, fuck, these videos are kicking my ass, man. I just can't fucking believe that this is, it's rough because, everybody's at different levels of awareness. And there's some things that some of us are aware of, other things that people aren't aware of. And it's like all levels, And so like the map is written. It's written. It's done. The map is done. People have to take the map as that is where we're headed. It's not a game. This isn't pretend. These people, God, people just don't understand the universe. They don't understand how shit works. Like yesterday, there's a whole group of people. I'm sure other people have seen them. And they're trying to do a group meditation. I'm crying, that's for sure. I'm just fucking tore up, man. It's fucking hard. This is challenging no matter what level you're at. This is challenging. So challenging. It's because as you go up, your empathy also goes up. There's spit bubbles too. Snot bubbles will come too. Just prepare yourself. This is rough, man. Because your empathy and your compassion, your ability to care and put yourself in other people's place also goes up. So you just totally relate to these people and you want to fix it for them all, but it's all like they're all expressions of you almost. And you can't tell the soles in your feet to know what the cells in your shoulders know. Everybody is at the place where they're supposed to be to get the job done, to where we're going to go, which is inevitable, which is destiny, which is what these people keep thinking that they can fight. And so last night what I was shown was because I was feeling so sad. I was like, so I started visioning the hurricane turning, and I was quickly head off with, you can turn that hurricane, what do you think's going to happen? Another one's going to come, and another one, until the map is completed, until the job is done. So all you do is prolong the inevitable. And that is like a part of our levels of learning. The what is written, what is done, what is will be. It's like we can't stop destiny. I see such a fucking huge thing that you have to understand about life. There's destiny. Like, and she's way bigger and more powerful than any of us. It's like our consent beforehand. Then we get in and we try and change it. We already consented. It's already set. It's already written. We can't change what is inevitable. And the more that we have a fit, and the more that we even see, there's a thing about our magic and our powers and stuff, and why we've been had restriction through our ignorance, because then you see what happens as soon as people start feeling like they have some sort of power. They start fighting against what is. They start fighting against the universe. They fight against themselves. They fight against their own contracts. They fight against the energy that is set in motion. It's been fucking storming here, just nonstop. The amount of rain, my yard is flooded like 3 times. And we're going to go this morning. I was going to go out and go do, go do a bigger shopping thing. And then, because this is fucking getting intense. Yesterday we didn't have the earthquake. I don't know if there was any earthquakes. And I don't know where Alexa is basing her stuff on. There's all sorts of stuff. Like Hurricane Milton is in a movie in 2008 about a Category 5 hurricane that comes and hits into, I don't even know if it's Florida, probably. There's a article about it from April of this year. Talking about all this stuff about it. There's just weird stuff. Like, I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin to understand some of this stuff, because it's so, there's so many options of how and why, and it's a place you can get stuck. There's certain times where you gotta let stuff go. You can't just keep holding on, because it's like using your energy. It's like a, like when you see a truck in a pothole, or they get in mud or whatever, and then they just keep gunning it, and it gets lower and lower, and then you dig in deeper and deeper. That's what you're doing energetically. And you got to move through with grace. Fuck. Fuck. Those visuals are fucked, man. Oh, God. It's not like because God expects it. It's just how your soul will find the most peace. And I don't know how to explain it. It's like a steps towards yourself. And some people have a lot of different steps, but there's still a path of ease that you can focus on. And so, anyways, we have all these different people at all these different levels. Oh, man. Every time I get this huge wave, fuck. It's hard to just not ball your head off. Fuck. And see, this is a sad thing. This is, the kind of video that Mama Tot did, one of her videos, that she was just really tore up, and she was really sad. And she was talking about, she's just so mad, she just wants to cry and stuff. And that is what these people have turned on her about. It's so weird. It's so weird how people put politics before people. And as one thing that is happening over in North Carolina, though, that the people are saying everybody's coming together. There's nobody sitting there saying, who you voting for? Who you voting for? Well, let's go. They just said everybody's just, coming together. Because that's why this shit is happening. That's what people don't get. They don't get the good part, why this is happening. And it's fucked, man. Like, I wish people could just come together. I wish people would just see without having to go through all the trauma. But, they can't. And they're not supposed to. Because all this is supposed to happen. This is a huge trauma to mankind, to the evolution, to each individual soul. So, I don't remember. I can't see that clear enough, but there was something. We'll see. Oh, there was something I have been meaning to say, and I keep forgetting to say it. So I'm gonna stick it in here, even though it's just sticking it in. Is sticking it in raw. Yeah, like I don't know, a couple years ago is when I started on the hair thing. I think I don't remember when it was. I started on the shampoo and stuff, and I started going off of washing my hair. And so back at that time, I would go easy like a month without washing my hair. And I kept trying to figure out like how to clean it. So I was trying all sorts of different things and nothing was really working. Like people were telling me all sorts of things like baking soda, rice water, the apple cider vinegar, like all these different things can work really good on different people's hair. And so there's some people who have great uh, benefits, but we're all different. So not everything works on us all the same. And so I was having issues trying to go through things. There was even one point where just rinsing it, I was like, oh my God, if I just rinse my hair with water, it's cleaner. But then I found out it depends on the water. Depends on whose water, where I'm taking a shower, because that was when I was out going in. Definitely not this summer, but last summer, or this, I think last summer. And I was found washing my hair like at my one daughter's house. If I just did it with just water, it was like, oh my gosh, my hair feels so good and nice and clean and stuff. I was like, fuck, that's all I need is water. But then different place, like my water, I don't know what the fuck comes out of it. It's like some sort of gel or something. I don't know what the hell. I argued with the water lady here too. She keeps saying, no, we have well water. This is just pure clean water that we have. Okay. You can smell chemicals, yeah. It's fucking slime. Dogs don't want to drink it. I'd probably, if I put it in my plants, they'd all die. I've had such issues with my plants. So, anyways, and you'd think, like, because they're right at the front of the thing in the windows. I even built shelves to put all the plants in the windows. And they still, like, half my plants have died. So, and the other ones, most of them struggle. I only have a few that really do well. So anyway, and I don't even know if they were doing well or they would do better somewhere else. And they're, I was about to go off then on another thing. Jesus, stay focused. Okay, so the hair. So so I was talking about it a lot, and and in all that period of time, and I had discovered that I talked about the secretions coming out of your hair, because they tell us that it's oily and we need to wash our hair and stuff like that. Like that's how I was raised. Is They would tell you all the time, oh, your hair looks oily. You need to go wash your hair. And so you would go take a shower and wash your hair. And so we're all kind of trained or programmed to think our hair gets oily and we need to clean it. That's doing that again. I lay on my side. I don't know. I just go off on that whole fucking sleeping thing again. So the hair secretes this stuff called sebum. Because then I even started looking into it, and I even found my old hairdresser book and was looking into it. Because I was a hairdresser when I first got out of high school. I still have the book from school. So I still have my first Raggedy Ann. There's this lady who lost her frog. She has this little stuffed frog, and it's still a comfort thing to her, so she keeps it with her all the time. And she was on a trip, and she was at a gas station, and sleeping or something by this hotel or something. I don't know. It's this whole thing in Arizona. And so she went online to ask people to look, and she's all tore up about it because she's had it for 20 years. I don't know how old she is, because I would think that she was more like 30. I don't know, but she got it when she was a little kid, and it's been her thing. And there were so many people in the comments who could totally relate. And I don't keep my Raggedy Ann with me, but I've had her for since 1962. So I very much would be very sad if she got lost. And when I very first got Stella, and I mean, it wasn't like she was really tiny, but she was still a puppy. And my Raggedy Ann was in my art room, and she was sitting up on the shelf. And I don't know if Stella knocked her down or what happened, but as she was eating her face off, and as she tore her face all up, oh my gosh, I was so upset. And I repaired it. I sewed it so she's all like Frankenstein with her face. And the fabric is so old. And then I started picking up Raggedy Ann's because I was going to do a face transplant. And then I started picking up all these Raggedy Ann's, and then they'd all look at me so sweet. And I was like, oh, I'll just give her, she just needs friends. So now I've got her a few Raggedy Ann's, and they're just all out there in a little pile. And Raggedy Ann has a whole sad history. It's just weird. It's my first doll and stuff. But anyways, so anyways, I was talking about the hair stuff, and I started talking about you got to brush that stuff through, because what I had found was that when your hair, it gets like that, you got to brush it through. It's secreting in order to coat your hair. Your hair is dry, so it's trying to secrete it. So see, we start this backward domino effect by washing it and stripping it when it's trying to secrete and get, it's trying to put something over your hair to protect it. And instead, we just go and wash it out. And so it's just this constant battle. And then our hair gets more unhealthy, and it gets more dry. And then we never let it get its, coating. It's like which I'm really feeling like that is a part of our brush your teeth nonstop with this harsh stuff, and plus the chemicals they've in it. But I think it is like they're destroying the enamel on our teeth, the coating that protects our teeth. So I think that is what they do. Anyways, there's a whole thing about that. But anyways, so on the hair, I found, so if you get a brush, and you gotta get these boar bristle brushes are supposed to be the best. And so I got a boar bristle brush. And so I brush it and brush it and brush it. And then I started saying, man, your hair starts turning into like silk if you keep brushing that stuff and getting it through your hair and really coating it. It's like putting a wax coating on an apple or something. It like coats your hair and protects it. And so I was talking about that a lot back then. So you'll remember that stuff if you've been following along that long. And anyways, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because a week or two ago, I saw some doctor online on TikTok doing some video, and he says he always has people asking him, what can I do? What can I do to grow my hair, to make my hair more healthy? Because lots and lots of people are losing their hair's falling out and stuff because we're fucking being poisoned to death, motherfuckers. And so the doctor said, I always have people asking me, how do I grow my hair? How do I get my hair healthier and stuff like that? And he said, the number one thing I could tell you to do is stop washing it. Stop using shampoo. I was right from a doctor. I figured it out by my own, trying it, doing it. And so I figured it out, but now, there's always doctor confirmation coming up from all this stuff. When you start, I don't know, to me, it's like I go in the direction that I'm led, and then I get confirmation that it's going in the right direction. So anyways, that is going to be more of a thing. So that is a true thing. Like if you need to be brushing that stuff through your hair and coating your hair and getting it. And, my hair is really good and healthy and whatnot. And, but I also attribute it to the minerals as well. So, and I've gone through it with the shampoo things and stuff. Like in my shower, I've got so much fucking different things. All these natural biotin, rosemary oil, and all that stuff. But still, I don't want to use something on my hair consistently. And I don't want to wash it all the time. And every time before I wash it, I'll spend a couple days of letting the sebum just go and just really brushing it through. And so I do that a couple times a week, where people think of like doing a conditioning treatment, but just let your hair saturate itself. And then when you want to mess with it, which it does get sticky, it gets sticky, it's like waxy, and my hair will start lumping together and stuff. It'll drive me crazy, and it drives me crazy. And I get so much better after. So then I'll let it go, and I'll brush it and brush it and brush it several times a day, because you'll see. And then let it really coat your hair. And then sometimes I'll do it for a day, but I usually I think it's 2 days, and sometimes maybe even 3 days. So see, like an hour conditioning treatment, or put a bag on your head with some cream and stuff. That's not doing anything. And people think they're doing stuff to their hair, but it's not. It all has to be from your nutrition coming from within. And then also, you need to let the hair protect itself. So you need to let the hair do its natural thing to take care of itself. And so, anyways, letting it have, a couple days to do that. And then the shampoo, what I'm using, so I will wash my hair like once, I would say twice a week, but sometimes I'll go 5 days. Like I used to for sure push it for a week or so, but it starts feeling so sticky, and it gets stuck, and my hair gets stuff in it. It just is like, ugh. So, and then today I was going to go out. So I was like, well, I'm going to wash my hair. So it's like in the movies. Oh, I got plans Friday night. I'm going to wash my hair. And it used to be like that too. Even when I worked at the hair place, there was ladies who only washed their hair. They would come to the hair place, get their hair washed and set, and that was it. They didn't do their hair until the next week. They didn't have to do anything to their hair. And, well, I think that they would kind of like puff it up. But yeah, when you went and did those hairstyles on those ladies, that was set for the week. And lots of ladies wore hairstyles back then. And so anyways, I got a whole flash of different hairstyles going. Hold on. So anyways, to finish with the fucking hair thing. The one I'm using the most of now, it is, and it seems like it's good, but I don't know. And you don't need conditioner with it, but it's supposed to be just like onion. Like there's a thing, the popular things right now is got biotin in it, because everybody's losing their hair. That has castor oil, rosemary, and onion. Onion is a big popular one. And that can be another thing if you're just trying to try all the just natural stuff, is try onion water. So I think onion water, because the rice water, you set the rice in the water and then you let it sit. And I don't remember if it sit for an hour or sit overnight. You'd have to look it up. And this is more of like what they do in some other places, supposedly. So then then you dump out the water from the rice, and then you use the water on your hair to wash it. And the apple cider vinegar, you just put like a little bit of apple cider vinegar in with water. And apple cider vinegar is really hot. And you'll be able to tell, because it'll be burning. And then baking soda, you just put some in and let it dissolve in the water. And then you wash your hair with that. And so onion, I would assume you put an onion, cut an onion. I may be able to try this. Cut it. I think I will. I think I'll try this. But sometimes, like, I got to try it on a day, because sometimes you try some of this stuff and then your hair comes out like gunk. And then I have to go in and wash it again. So it'll be more like when I'm going to wash my hair again, I'll try that beforehand. So you take an onion, soak it in the water, then pour the water out. And then I think I will add like maybe a little castor oil or something. There's all these different things. Once you start getting into herbs and all that stuff, then you learn about different ones. Like you could add like a little bentonite clay maybe to dry some of this stuff up, because there is some sort of a clay, which I got back then. I don't remember what it was, but when I was doing all this research trying to find out what did people used to wash their hair with, because then you find out that the reason when they invented shampoo was like when I was a kid, and then that is what their whole thing was about, telling people to wash your hair, get it clean and stuff. Before that, people didn't wash their hair all the time, and it took a long time before it even got to the point of people washing their hair all the time and taking a shower every day and stuff like that. It wasn't like that before. And so they wanted it to be like that because they wanted us to strip ourselves with detergents, I think, and sell us all this stuff that's so toxic for us. So anyways, all of that stuff, the soaps, all of their hygiene products aren't good for us. And it is newer. So I was looking back, like, what did people used to use before shampoo and stuff? And that's where I saw that they used to use essential oils. And I was like, okay, so obviously back in the, at some point, they just kind of went with it and braided their hair and stuff. So, and it would work good. Like your hair gets so, it would hold your braids in. So it's probably, they just did those hair styles, elaborate styles, and put stuff in their hair or something. And at some point, then they also would just put on wigs. And at some points in our history, what they say is like, in our history, it's different times and space, that the people just were really dirty. Like their hair smelled, they all smelled and stuff like that. Like, well, about the Western days over here. So, so I don't know. But anyways, I just know that what they've sold us on is no good for us. And so, but it's everybody's own journey to walk away from what they feel is affecting them or toxic to them. And some things are so toxic, it's not going to be, I mean, that's where it's going to be shocking for a lot of people, because, you know, they'll still be putting shampoo on their hair, and then all of a sudden it's going to be pulled off the market, and then they're going to be confused. And the rest of it's going to be, it's full of poison. I'll be like, what? They'll have no idea. And you know, so it's going to hit people in different ways. And all of that is what we're going through right now, because this is what's, you know, tearing me up so hard is, so right now, like the video that I started crying over this morning, it's fucked, man. Because I saw the video of the lady who said she was driving into the storm, like she was showing all the traffic, and she was driving into the storm, or the evacuation, to get her 93-year-old mom. I don't know if she got out or whatever, because once she gets in there, there's no gas. You know, did she bring gas cans? Did she know what to expect? Then the traffic to get out, just sitting there, cars breaking down, stopping working, running out of gas. And one thing that everybody's talking about that is horrific on that drive was there was somebody got a video of it. It's two people standing on the side of the road, a man and a woman, and holding up a sign saying they don't have any gas or any money, but if somebody would please take their kids to safety. So fucked, man. Or their kids. That person said that she's holding an infant, and the other kid's like 3 foot taller, like a toddler and an infant, and they're willing to send them out with strangers. They're that desperate. And there was a story in North Carolina of a woman, I might have already told this one, and she was standing in her kitchen, and they had no idea that the dams had broke or anything. So they had no idea. They thought there was going to be a storm, but not like, I mean, when a hurricane's going to go across the fucking land and cross mountains, you're not thinking it's going to be anything more than just a big old storm. And so the water came through, hit into her wall, and she was in the kitchen, hit through with this force, and she was standing there holding her baby, and the water just took her baby and took it out. And then when the guy showed up with the mules to bring stuff to her, she told him, and then he went out to look, and it took him 4 hours, And then he found her baby in the debris up that it hit into, because the stuff would fly, but it would hit into things. And then some of the things, it would just cause landslides and mudslides and stuff. So land would just go. And that's one of the issues, I guess, over in Florida is there's all limestone. And it could turn into Swiss cheese or something. Like, I don't know. Definitely, it's just so sad because it's like, this is the end of Florida. If it doesn't get it on this one, I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked if this isn't the, so anyways, there's so many different things I want to say. So the family on the side of the road where just like, I don't even see how someone could pull over and say, here, I'll take your kids without taking you. Like, so hopefully somebody, you know, who didn't have a full car pulled over and said, hey, guys, get my car. And plus they're moving like a snail. And then at some point, this is so bipolar on this fucking evacuation. So they tell them all to evacuate. And there's a guy, some of these people, it's just so fucking mental, man. It's so goddamn mental. So this guy, who is doing this live report this morning, right there in Tampa, talking about the evacuation and stuff. But he's staying, you know, to do this news, you know, he's going to show us what this hurricane's like. God damn it, I swear to God, I can't even believe this shit. And he's not the only one. It's when I just saw him fresh live this morning, so it just reminded me because I keep seeing him. And but he said that there's, he said how creepy it is because there's these black SUVs that just keep driving around telling everybody to evacuate, you must leave this area, and all that. And I don't know, you know, why he keeps, this is so weird, man. It's like people just, I don't even know. There was a video I saw yesterday of a woman, she's like in a high rise, and she's not evacuated. I don't remember what her story was. So she's in a high rise, and she went over to the window, and she was showing out. She's in Tampa, right at the ocean. And so she was up in the thing, and she was showing, looking down at Tampa, and she's talking about how weird it is and how eerie and creepy. And there's just this really, really weird air to it or whatever. And when you're looking down, there's nothing, no traffic, nothing, but there's a lot of buildings. So I was looking around at like buildings and thinking, okay, will that one make it? Will that one make it? But I don't think, like, I would definitely see the building that I would be in. That one over there, this one is like maybe three stories. It looks like a big giant rectangle, looks very heavy. And I would think going up, not to the top, but like the second floor. So you're out of the water because it's supposed to rise like 15 feet. And it's really fucked because you see all these people who are talking. I talked to a lady yesterday for a bit in her comments. And she was trying to tell people how to get prepared and stuff. And she was showing about how to make sure you have an axe up in your attic. As all the people, this is their plan. To get out of the water is to go into their attics. It's like they don't know what's coming with this wind. And the news is not telling them. A lot of these people think that a category 1 or 3 is coming. It is so motherfucking weird. And so they have no idea what to expect. And then, but these people keep saying, but there's something just so weird and so ominous and in the air. And they all keep feeling so like something's so weird, something's so off. Like everybody can feel this, this sense of demise is what I'm hearing. But that wasn't the word I was thinking of before. But it is this, this heaviness. And then when you look down and there's like no things, no people, no cars going around. I think there was like one truck thing going around. Might have been the one telling people to evacuate. But she's like, and kind of laughing about it. And saying, but she'll stay and she'll get footage and she'll show us all what it's like when it starts really going and everything. It's like, lady, well, it's fucking, it's so weird. I don't want to see some of this stuff in my mind. But it's like, fuck, dude. So you thinking 225-mile-an-hour winds up in a high rise at the motherfucking ocean that you are going to stand here and get footage of a storm to share with everybody, and you don't think anything's coming crashing through your fucking windows? She even showed down below her. Maybe this is what I was thinking, was where I thought that there was a truck or something, but she showed down below her where they're building some building, and the crane. She has a giant crane right below her windows, and the crane has been like taken apart or something. So it's not like the thing is up in the air with the thing going. It's like that they've taken this part, and so it's like laying there. I was like, well, it's not going to be laying there long. That thing's going to be fucking flying around. Oh my God, that's fucking fucked, man. Fuck. Because I can see it flying, and I can see it fly like a fucking weapon and just slam right in through a window. It was so, this is how oblivious that these people are being. It's weird. There was another woman who I saw a video, and she was showing all the traffic, and she was like, when you're driving into an evacuation zone to get your dog. And I thought, is this just like a thing now? They're just trying to terrorize us with all these stories? Because it seems so similar to the one who was going to get her 93-year-old mom. But then I went and looked on her thing, and she had a video of her with their dog. And she said, I got there, I got him. And so then I was like, okay, so this is fucking really going down. And then I saw one this morning. This is the one that I'm... Because there's ones where it's like young adults. Like the young adult lady who won't leave her grandpa, who's 91, who refuses to go. There was a kid, a young man, who was trying to evacuate. He's calling his mom, I don't know, Alabama or something, calling her, saying, can I come stay with you? There's a hurricane, and they're evacuating us. And his mom said, no, don't be silly. Those storms, they always make like those storms are going to be bad. They're not going to be that bad. You'll be fine. Then, so we called another person, like his aunt or something. It was the same thing. I was like, what the fuck? I'm talking about these levels. Like that lady, like, oh, Jesus Christ, man. So the one that got me this morning was this. So the video just shows like these pets. And she's showing her like her cat and her dog or something. And she says, I'm stuck in, or we're supposed to evacuate, but we're staying for Milton. I can't say it for verbatim, but just I'll just do an overall general thing. That she can't stay, that she's asked to stay, that she can't leave. And her family is staying. They've just made the decision that they're staying. And she feels like this is her last day on earth. And she's looking at her pets, thinking about, you know, that this is probably her last day. And she, you know, looks down at her feet. And she's just like sitting on a ledge, kicking her feet. And she says she's 15. Terror that some of these people have got to be feeling for the other people who don't feel it. Because she can feel it. She can feel what's coming. She can feel the ominous nature of what's about to go down. And it's so fucked because so many people have no spiritual understanding. And they don't, like they are so in fear of something they don't need to fear. And it's so sad because they're so scared. And I know that there would be, like, when you think of, like, angels or something, like an energy of peace that will be surrounding so many. It's like they're being enveloped in a certain energy. And I've seen so many videos of these young girls, these young moms, showing their little babies and saying that some of them are single moms, some of them are having to stay with families, it's all different stories. And they're having to stay, and they've got their little babies. So in all those ones, I kept going into their videos and telling them to wrap their baby to them. You know, those wraps that people used to use for their infants. That people got to wrap their babies to them. They can't hold on to them. You can't hold them tight enough. Just like about it. Of an airplane. All of a sudden, opened, the thing opened and the suction pulled. You can't hold on to your baby. You have to tie it to you. So I kept trying to say that in the comments so people would know, because they probably don't know about what happened to that other lady with her baby. So when you see all these videos and you see all their faces, it's like they're imprinted society with it. Who's involved in this disaster? And it seems so silly to be so upset ahead instead of having hope and stuff, but it's like I have a clear understanding of destiny. And like I said, even if it's not the storm, they've got another one that's coming right behind it. So even if we all came together and we all sat here, if we were all at that same level, if we were all at the level that we could all go together and use our energy to move that storm out, that there's another one that's going to come, because what has to happen has to happen. And I don't think that that's a part of our lessons, that we go into battle with Mother Nature. And it's not even Mother Nature. It's like they're using Mother Nature as a weapon against us. And it's like we aren't at that level. That's not where we're at that level yet. I mean, fucking half of motherfucking people aren't even awake. So, you know, at some point, that's probably where we're being led to, is that these things wouldn't be able to happen because we would have the abilities to make sure that they can't happen. But we're just, you know, this is the stuff that we're going to go through to learn this stuff. It's going to be, you know, the map, the landscape is going to change. And it's, you know, something that people also need to consider is, like, I was thinking about this, you know, last night, in the middle of the night, a dog rolling over is not going to consider the fleas on the other side. It's just going to roll over. And the earth isn't going to consider us as it's rolling over. And the landscapes have to change. And there's bad parts, because then there's the end of what was there. And there's good parts because it's revealing things that we didn't know about, that are being birthed. So it's like endings and beginnings in the universe, because we are all a part of that system. That it isn't, you aren't ending, you're just changing forms. So it's not that you are ceasing to exist. So that's what I tried to say in that little girl's thing in her comments, was don't worry, enjoy this day like it is your last day, and know that you can't die, that you would just change forms, that you will never die. And because people don't understand, they think like that they're going to die, and that this story we've been told, but it's not like that. And it's not like the story that they told people. And so there's so many people who are so scared, but it's really, it's just a huge amount of people that are going to leave the story or the storyline all at one time. And it has such a huge impact on the shift of humanity. So it's a very important thing that is going to occur. And there's people who are, I've seen military guys now, and I've seen more than one sailor or fisherman or whatever. These guys that know the current, know the temperatures, they know how the water moves, they know how the currents work in the storms and stuff. And all of them have all been saying the same thing. This storm, when it hits this water temperature in the Gulf, it's so much warmer. And then there's a thing about the eye of the storm is like a 3-mile radius, whereas it normally is like 300-mile radius or something. So it's usually really big. So then you think like, well, what's the significance of that? And they said, think about an ice skater. When an ice skater is going and doing the thing, and then they turn and start spinning, and then they put their arms up and they get smaller, and how fast they start spinning. They said that is the problem with the small radius of the eye. It's very impactful. And so it's going to start spinning really fast when it hits into this warm water, which could be today. I bet you it's going to be very dramatic, because it's supposed to hit tonight at like 2 in the morning. And so it's going to be dramatic on all this tracking. There's so many videos of people tracking it. So many people are live all day long. And it's so wild to be so invested in this, and with all these different people, and be clear across the country. But that is a part of the awakening, is a part of this empathy towards what's happening for other people, because all these other people who are like oblivious, they're just oblivious to what's going on in the world. They're oblivious to what's happening to other people. And that is because they're not awakened yet. So they're just still stuck in their own little routine, where people call them NPCs, but they're just stuck in their routine, going through their life just without, I think because life is becoming so difficult for people, they're just becoming more consumed by their own problems. But that is where everything is going to just go topsy-turvy. Everything's going to flip. And what people thought were problems before will no longer be problems. Like, are you wearing red or are you wearing blue? Used to be a big problem. Now people are like, fuck, who cares? All hands on deck. So it's this, complete reevaluation of our priorities, and what we value is what we think is important. And that is what this shift is creating. And so all of these people who are oblivious, and which, only confirms to me that we're going to have a big thing that's going to happen over here, because it's due, it's due, like at so many different levels. It's due to the lack of engagement into the universe. It's due to, because it's due, its time is up. It's like you can use these concepts or these words and different ways, and they have different levels of meaning. That's what always gets me when I say certain things. It's so weird, because especially on TikTok and stuff, and then comments and stuff, because people can take them in so many different ways, which also can confirm to you that you are taking things that other people say, maybe not the way they mean it, that you are processing the information in a different way than them. And so there's just that leads into our language barriers. Is we need to be more tuned into each other to understand one another and quit relying on vocabulary or words in order to communicate. But that is going to be a part of our evolution as well. And so the um, the the getting back to the sense of self, getting into the where you came from, who you are. It's like this whole thing of grounding into you that is not just grounding into your ancestry and your lineage, but it's grounding into you as a soul and how multifaceted you really are. So, anyways, I wanted to, because I'm going off on something that was finished on that other thing. It seems like I was still talking about something or there. So with the people in the videos, so all these people doing these videos, and some of them are just they're so endearing. It's like these most beautiful eyes looking out at you that it's like, and all you can look at when you see in these videos is thinking, this is, nice to meet you, goodbye. It's like, fuck, man. So when the storm goes, so the heat is supposed to pick it up and start twirling it faster and faster and whipping it. And I don't know, they're using dry ice or something to direct it. There's even dry ice falling in people's yards and shit or something absurd bullshit things. So so it's directed to go, which, another thing that is so motherfucking absurd. Disneyland just closed yesterday. And at first I had seen yesterday morning, I had seen a woman, and she was triggered. She was a Florida person, and she was triggered because people are being so fucking mean to these people. The judgment and hatefulness that is coming out of people, like telling them, just leave. Yeah, well, we would all like that to be, to just leave. We wish that we could, have everything be the way that we would feel most comfortable, but that's not the way it is. And we can't turn around and be mean to people. And so you have a lot of people saying, why they can't leave. A lot of people don't have any money, don't have any cars. And what gets me is, like, in these places, and I was really thinking about, I had seen one person say something about the buses. Why are they not using the buses, the school buses, the city buses, and just loading them up and just driving people out? Why are people even having to use their cars? Why are people having to stand on the side of the road? Like, where is the government? Where's the government's real concern? Just going through the neighborhoods, terrorizing people, because the people who are in the neighborhoods at this point, they don't have cars, they don't have money, they don't have family, they don't have anywhere to go, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go. There was one lady I saw, and her house is, like some sort of mansion, gonna build a house that's made out of concrete. And so she said they're riding out the storm in her house, and she was showing her house. And it was like, I don't know, people must be rude to her about how much money she has, because she kept saying shit about that. She was saying that her husband built that, and it's built at the level of a building, whatever that's called, commercial building. That's how her house is built. So her house really may, and she did have enough floors. Her house may still be standing, but maybe standing underwater, because that's the thing, is that Florida is going to be going underwater. And I don't know, if this is just going to rise it to a certain level and it's just going to keep rising. But it's definitely not going to be inhabitable at some point. And this may be the point where it becomes not inhabitable. And so on the one woman who was triggered, she was pissed. And she was saying, you know, you guys keep being so fucking rude, saying that we should all be evacuating. Like, and she was like, how? There's no gas. The interstate's backed up for, I mean, the people have been sitting there for fucking day or something, 2 days or something. People just sitting on the fucking roads. People's cars breaking down, running out of gas. The interstate's not moving. And so how to evacuate. I've seen 2 videos of 2 different people on 2 different state highways who there was like no traffic. They were driving 75 miles an hour, bolting it. And they said, but see, this is what I've been talking about. People don't know the back roads. They know the interstates, and people rely on their navigation and stuff. And there's back ways around in towns that people need to learn for your evacuation, because the main hubs will be overrun. And there will be these things with the electric, not just electric cars, but the electrical parts of cars shorting out and not working, running out of gas. Like, all these things are going to go down in every evacuation. This isn't just like a one-time thing. This is going to go. And so many videos, so many. And they say that everybody who's posting about it, their videos get taken down immediately. But the routes, once they get to the point of being able to leave, that there is places that are closed. FEMA's not letting them pass. So bridges and stuff like that. So there's all of that going on, because it's a fucking trap, man. And there's a lot of people who are sensing it, but then there's a lot of people who are, because you're always going to be where you're supposed to be. You can't be where you're not supposed to be. It's impossible. And so these people, no matter what happens, they're going to be stuck where they're going to be stuck. And, you know, they could go out and try this, their car would break. They would go out, try and hitchhike, nobody would pick them up. Like, where you're supposed to be, you're going to be. There's nothing you can do about it. And so, and there's so many of them. And they're all like the sweetest. They all just keep doing these videos, trying to show like how they're getting prepared and what they're doing. And it's like, and so you see all these people preparing for flood. It's like the flood is not what's about to kill you guys. It's the wind. And going up into your goddamn attic. I told that lady, I said, well, I wouldn't want an axe flying around 225 miles an hour up around me in an attic when that roof blows off. And in their chainsaws and stuff, they're all taking these fucking extreme weapons up in their attic. And people are setting up their attics like to stay up in them, so that they could sleep. I bet you there's going to be people who are going to be going up in their attics tonight to go and try and sleep before it starts. Because the water, they already know the water is going to come in, and it's going to be, they're saying 15 feet. So, most people's, the first story is what, 8 or 10 feet? And so it would be halfway up a second story. But then when you're up in these high rises and there's nothing around you protecting you, and you're just windows, like, and you're right in the fucking dead ass part of the city, like, there is going to be things that are going to be flying. Like, I think that there are going to be cars flying. I think there's going to be fucking no telling. Like, they keep saying, like, 225 mile an hour winds. People have just not seen anything like this. And they say, in a tornado, when it goes through and it's going through battering people with this big wind, but it's only a couple seconds, a couple minutes. This is going to go on for 4 hours at least. And so, God, it's going to be terrifying. I mean, I'm happy, that some of these people are going to go with their whole families and stuff like that. I'm glad they're all going to be together. And I told that little girl, live this day like it is your last day. Enjoy it. Do the things that make you happy. That's what you got to do. You can't sit there all day just thinking, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Because in actuality, when you came out of your body, you would regret that that's how you spent that day. You'd be like, God, I had one more day. I had one more day to have fun, to feel this body, to feel what it feels to feel. Because that's the thing that happens. When you come out, you don't feel. And yesterday, that was the thing that I was seeing last night. was all this that we're doing as souls, all those feelings, all those emotions and stuff that we go through, feeling this place and feeling what it feels to feel, and understanding about sensing and stuff like that. So how I saw it was like we're learning how to be that without being that. So I think that as our souls evolve, that we're learning how to feel feelings without having to rely on this body to feel. So I think it's like imprinting it into your soul what it feels like to feel love, imprinting it into your soul what it feels like to be touched, imprinting into your soul what it feels like to have love surge through your body. And I was thinking about that last night, and I was looking around at the dogs, and I was just sending out all of this love. It's just feeling, what does this feel like in your body? And it's like all these tingles. It's like these are all these things that I want to remember, because I want to bring them forth out of this reality into my existence. And so trying to really acknowledge, what does it feel like to feel love? What does it feel like to feel this emotion and stuff, and to really imprint it into your diagram of self, like into your DNA. Because I think then we can go forward and, know what it feels like to feel these things. But yeah, and then letting the people who are just stressing for their last day, which, it's going to be stressful. This is a battle of your soul's battle. This is, a significant battle that is happening. And I'm just growling like crazy. So the lady, if you were to sit all day long and stress and not sit and play with your dog and love your cat and go for a walk and, I don't know, take a hot shower, do the things that, man, I love that. I love what it feels like taking a hot shower when go and feel all the things, go and do all the things and feel them and print them into your mind so that you can take them forward. And then I just feel like that the people who don't do the things that they love, it would be such a huge regret when they get to the other side, because there's just a quick aha moment, like when people leave their body. There's a lot of people who leave in desperate confusion, but there's a realization at some point of like, whoa, I'm not dead. Wait a minute, I'm still alive. What's this mean? What's going on? Where am I? What's happening? And so in this moment of realization that nothing can hurt you, you're not going anywhere. You just left a storyline. You just left like a movie, and then all of a sudden, then you go through and evaluate yourself, and in that evaluation, you would be like, oh, because there's the same thing that we're doing here is the same thing we do over there. As I said, this is like we're living a life review. And so you get to that point of like, oh man, I wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have done that different. And that is, to me, the reincarnation cycle, the draw to go back to fix things. And the reason why you have all of your ancestral line around you is because of this desire to fix things. And, wish I would have done that different. I wish I would have known it. I would have done that different if I would have known, all those kinds of things. And that is a big thing for the soul, to need to realize that you can't know something before you know it. You're in the process of learning. And so don't be hard on yourself for learning. And so the people, what was I going to say? So the people, what was I going to say? still keeps always, it goes back to reset. So the people, so the people, so the people, so the people what? So the people will, everybody is, has their own ascension pattern. And like I said, like some of these people, like you think, well, they're dying and they didn't even wake up yet. But remember, I said that some things, the people aren't supposed to wake up. That's not part of their thing. They're not supposed to wake up because they're supposed to just play this part. And how horrifying if they were awake through this, like they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be there if they knew. If they knew Florida is about to be wiped off of the planet, they wouldn't be there. They would take it, that's why, like I've said, that they don't tell you everything. Your guides don't tell you everything. Your guides aren't like, their guides don't care about them, or they would tell them. That's not how it works. It's, you can't play a part that you're not here to play. You can only do what you're here to do. And all parts are being played. Everything has to play out. And so it's not like their guides are failing them. This is the part that came to play. And there's a lot of people that, yeah, they're not going to see him awake because they're not supposed to. Because that would be like, it's just not supposed to. Their lessons come in this other part. Like, and it can be, maybe, just like on this one, let's just take it for instance. So, past life that, the shit went down as usual. When was it not going down? It was always going down. And I see a lady on a ship, and she can't have passage if she has this baby. So she has to throw her baby into the ocean and let her baby die in order to stay on the ship. And so at that point in time, she felt like that she had no other choice. And then she had to live with that pain and sorrow. And she felt like she had no other choice. So then in this life, then it can even be that the baby is the one who is the rescuer. But I would say it would be more of the mom playing out this other time of existence where she does get to keep her baby with her and have her baby with her through the thing. So it's all, but that's what I would say. It's so fucking variable. It's where you have to go in, and each person has to go in and find their own stories, their own storylines, and put it together, the pieces over what's happening in their life in order to learn and to get the most benefit from the experience that you're going through. So the people that are in this space are there to create this dramatic ending. And it's hard to watch these videos because there's like all these beautiful people with these beautiful eyes. And some of them are so scared. Some are feeling so rejected. There's ones that are staying because there's no place to go if you have pets. Places are not letting people take their pets. And DeSantis or whatever, he had made it that they had to, but they still aren't. And so people are having to stay with their dogs. Then people are treating them like, oh my God, what an idiot. You're going to stay for your dog? It's like, dude, what are you talking about? This one guy's like, the dog is the only person who's ever been here for me my whole life. I wouldn't abandon my dog. And but the bipolar thing with the DeSantis thing too. So it was wacky, man. So they've been telling people to evacuate. So there's been some people who, it seems like the people who have more money, because I've seen one guy and he's over in fucking New Orleans. So he evacuated to New Orleans, is making it a vacay, and he's going to show everybody what they're, and he's already started drama on his vacation, is that he had got an Airbnb. And when he got over there, he was in this really bad part of town. And people were looking at him and stuff, and he was like, so he told them, like, I can't be over here. I can't even be over here after dark, man. And you need to move me. And so the Airbnb moved him into this like mansion in this nice part of town. So he's like, I'm going to be showing you guys. So like, there's good things happening for people. But when he was saying that about that, it really made me think about like, no fucking shit. It's so wild how it's a victim mentality, really. You know, and I'm not trying to minimize what Black people have gone through at all. Like, I feel like I try and maximize it to people to see like how bad it's really been. But um, this division on Sundown Town, and these people, you know, deserve to die and stuff like that, and this whole concept of Sundown Town, and then you having all these people say, yeah, it's so dangerous, and Black people can't go to these places, or they'll be, you know, lynched up at night when it gets dark out, or whatever the whole scenario is. And when that guy, though, this guy who went to New Orleans, this old white guy, and he's talking about, you know, that they're looking at him, they're staring him down, they're saying, you can't be in this part of town, and stuff like that. All of a sudden, I was like, oh my God, how many fucking people, white ass folk, have driven into the wrong part of town in Compton, Oakland. There's definitely places that we can't be. There's definitely places, like 100%, there's places that we can't be. But it just is always the focus of where these other people can't be. But it's become a thing. You know, that's how divided we are. There's places that lots of us can't be. So it's dangerous out there until we all come together, until we all unite, until we all come, you know, and put the weapons down, put the colors down, and start coming together with our eyes, our souls, our remembering who and what we are and what we're doing here. I'm not gonna say it yet. I looked at the thing, 111 though, because it's true. It is true what I say, what we're doing here. And so you know, the people who want to be mean to these people about evacuation, and so they're telling them, you know, they're going through these neighborhoods, terrorizing these people with these trucks and stuff. You've even got birds. These birds, these are cool as shit. But there's these birds. I don't know what they are. If they're like 4 feet tall or something, and they walk around 2 legs like flamingos, and they usually just walk around and stuff, but they're going through neighborhoods together and screaming out. People have said, I've never heard them make a sound. And they're out there hollering, like they're trying to tell the people, like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. The storm is coming. And so it's tripping people out. It adds to the ominous feature of what's happening, because these birds normally don't do shit. And so, but you got this going, and these big SUVs going around, and they're saying this on these speakers and stuff. And the mayor has come out, I think it's the mayor of Tampa, came out and said, you're all going to die. If you have stayed, you're going to die. Just that's it. That's all I've got to say about it. And there was another thing too that was attached to that. Okay, so she said, you're all going to die. Because there was a woman who, she's not on social media, so she just said she just went on to this TikTok. She's a psychic, medium, homesteader person or something. So she works with these different clients and stuff. And so she goes into trances or something, or some kind of thing with her stuff. But she said that she started getting told, not Pensacola. What is it? It's one of the places that's going to be hit. St. Petersburg. She said she couldn't get St. Petersburg out of her mind, and plus it comes with visions. These things, it comes with, you see stuff, and so she said St. Petersburg is going to be wiped out. It's going to be gone. If you were in St. Petersburg, please. And she was like in tears. Please, please leave. And so, you know, all these different ones saying this stuff, you know, you're going to die and stuff. And so But when you see DeSantis, and I'm not the only one saying this now. Now I'm seeing videos talking about it. He looks so motherfucking stressed. And I'm not that familiar with him. Like, he's not my governor. Um, I've seen him because of so much of the drama that's going on, and he's been really drug in, and I've not been able to figure out on which side that he is, and how he's being used. But I think it's really clear right now he's being used, or something's coming to the surface for him. Either he's about to face some harsh reality, or he knows what's... I think he knows what's coming, for sure. And it's weird, because he'll be standing on the streets. But, in 1 second, he can get in a plane and be gone. These other people can't. The airlines are they're canceling people's flights and then trying to charge them. They're total price gouging. And that is one of the big things that has been in all of these lawsuits. These class action lawsuits have all been about price gouging. But see, people don't know about all these lawsuits being happening. So then it has to be a part of the awakening, and all these people have to go through this stuff because that's what wakes them up, is the experience. So so DeSantis was telling people the other day, everybody needs to evacuate. These areas, it's mandatory. You have to evacuate. Well, like I said, they're not bringing in buses. They don't provide buildings. Like, why in the world in some of these places with these disasters, why is there not a safety place to go? Like during World War II, like in England, where there was, and I'm probably in some of these other places, but where they were being bombed so heavily, there was bomb shelters and stuff. When shit would go down, all the people would go to a certain place. What the fuck happened? Like, you got all this shit, and all these people are trying to board up their houses and stuff. And then what I have also learned about listening to these people is that, so people are out there trying to board up their windows, which they need to board up their windows, because if they don't board up their windows, something's going to fly through it. As soon as something breaks with the wind, it's that same thing what I was talking about with the pressure. So when something breaks in the house, the house is going to explode from the inside. It's going to implode. And so then the people don't know this. They don't know that this is going to happen. They're just preparing for the water. They don't know what's about to go down with the wind. And like, these people don't realize, like, they're going to be up in their attic, but the wind is going to pull their roofs off. And it said that if there's any part where wind can get in, it's going to make the house go from the inside. So everything will blow apart. And you've got all of these things out in the streets, these weapons of all of the furniture and shit that people have brought out in the streets that are just sitting there ready for the wind to pick them up and throw them. And one person was saying that they were boarding up their windows, but they said, my neighbor over there, she just put sheets over her windows. So that's going to come going right through. Some people are trying to keep their windows open so they can film it. So, and things are going to go right in their windows, and their houses are going to implode. People are going to be thrown out at going 225 miles an hour. It's going to be like a tornado hitting over their house for hours and hours and hours. And and the water's rising, so they can't stay down low. You can't go low because there's too much water. And so that's why I kept seeing, like, just like right there, that building right there on the thing, like, is a Capitol building. Like, why in the world? They've got to have some buildings in every city. Why aren't they preparing and having, like, generators in these buildings, food, water, everything set up, and telling people that can't evacuate, come to these buildings? We've got safe zones. We've got places for people to be. But they're not doing that, because this is going to show us that, our government doesn't care. This is going to be impactful. This is going to change us. We're going to do things very different. I don't think we're going to, after all the storms pass, after the landscape changes, there will be a time of peace. We won't be having this. We won't have all these storms. I think so much of those storms are manufactured, so it won't be so stormy. It's like we'll go into a time of peace, the peace on earth. So but it's going through this is, we still have to go through it. And, And over here, we still have the volcanoes are the activity in the volcanoes, the earthquakes going up and down the shoreline, this tsunami threat that's supposed to be coming. I don't even remember. I don't even know if this is Alexa thing or what the fuck. I just know this shit's gonna go. And then every time I see these maps, one good thing is though the map that keeps going around now, the naval map. People aren't showing so much the doomsday map, but it's like the same. But the naval map, I can see my area is still there. But that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that just because the land is going to be there, that doesn't mean like the neighborhoods are going to still be there and stuff. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I just know I'm around a lot of people who aren't awake yet. And something impactful is going to wake them up because that's how it works. Like, you've had all these other things to wake you up and it hasn't worked yet. So this other thing is going to be what wakes people up. And, so then you start having DeSantis telling people to evacuate. You have to evacuate, even though they don't provide any place or set anything up or anything. Then all the people went out and got stuck on the roads. So then all the gas stations, there's no gas stations up the interstate that have gas. But there was, I saw somebody on a video that all of the gas pumps had yellow things over them, and he said it's a trick. He went up and he took one off and he said there's gas, they're lying to us. So I don't know about all that, but that would be a part of the trap. I mean, at Walmart, this was in Georgia, I think, and this woman said that her daughter went to the grocery store and she said she went up to Walmart, she had to go get groceries, and that when she went in, they're clearing everything out. She said all the meat, all the dairy, all the eggs. And so as they're pulling it all out, she's like, wait a minute, I need some of that. I need the meat. And she said, oh, we can't sell it to you. We got to take it. And so she goes over the dairy and the eggs and stuff, same thing. And she's telling them, I need that. And they were like, oh, sorry, we can't sell it to you. So she calls manager. And the manager comes and says, no, we can't sell you any of this stuff. So she gets like another manager hire or something. And they say, well, we got an email this morning that said clear all the shelves and don't sell anything. And we just have to do what we're told. See what I'm saying about the do what you're told and the people, and how the people are part of the problem because they just follow orders and they don't think about shit. It's absurd, man. It's fucking absurd. So she went to the next Walmart and it was the exact same thing. So the woman who was telling the video said there's something going on. There's something being set up, something going on. And this storm, from what these sailors and these different guys that talk about the ocean, the current, and the temperatures and stuff, said it's going to abruptly shoot over to Georgia, this thing. As soon as it hits the water at Tampa, or the eastern side of Florida into the Atlantic, as soon as it hits into that water, they said it's going to make it abruptly turn and go up to Georgia. And in the map, and this whole side of the coast is supposed to be decimated. And I don't know if it's going to be this storm, but there's another one coming right behind it. But this is going to keep adding to it. And I'm sure it's going to affect more with North Carolina, all these different places. Like, this week is going to probably be really hellacious over there for sure. In places that are just not Florida. Florida is going to be absolute a terror. Like, it's just so crazy how these people just have no idea what's coming. And so DeSantis was saying everybody had to leave, and then telling them, and then they get them all on the cars and the streets, and all these people get trapped. And then they're telling him, you got to get out of your car, you got to get your car back to safety. Everyone turn around, go back, get into a safe place. And so everybody, there was still, the highway was still full. And but this was what people were like, so going back home and trying to prepare for what's to come. So then yesterday, that was the day before, And so then yesterday morning, when I go on there after I recorded and downloaded it and stuff, I go on there. He's live for fucking hours, I think. And he is telling them all they have to evacuate right now. Everybody has to evacuate. It's like, what in the bipolar crazy bullshit is going on? So you told them yesterday they had to. Everybody starts trying. They can't get out. No, it was 2 days before that. So it was all yesterday people were trapped. And so then everybody's trapped. There's no gas. And then now you're telling everybody again, get the fuck out. And you got the mayor coming out and saying, you're all going to die. You're all going to die. And so, and then you have these people, video after video after video. They don't have any money. They have nowhere to go. They've got no means to leave. Their cars are broke. And supposedly Uber, which, okay, so you're telling me the Uber people, the firemen and all these people there. I saw one lady and she's like, please be praying for the firemen and the first responders as they go through this. I just can't wait until my husband gets home. So those people are having to stay. And the hospital, all the hospital staff. So the hospital, and they've got it all like, why in the world then are you not telling everybody come to the hospital? Let's just focus on the hospital. Everybody will stay in the hospital together. Why are they not doing that? Why are they just leaving people to fend for themselves in their homes? So you got the hospital staff, their families. I'm sure a lot of them, nurses and stuff. I don't know, probably a lot of doctors, but I don't know. Some doctors are such egotistical babies. They probably would, well, I need you to stay with me. But I think a lot of nurses would be like, get the hell out. Take the kids and get the fuck out of here. But single moms, what are they going to do? There's lots of single mom nurses. I would think bring their kids with them to work. That's what they need to be demanding. I'm bringing my family with me. You're going to make me stay here and work. My family's coming with me. Because they're doing all this extra protection to the hospital. And it does have different floors. It does have an internal area where even if the wind blows all of the other windows out and stuff, if you can get to a place in the middle, but because I don't think it could go in and just blow that. Like it would blow it like bombs going off in the rooms and stuff. So like it could come through a thing into a hospital room and that room blow, but it won't necessarily go in the hall. And I'm sure they'll shut all the doors. All the doors in the hallways will be shut and stuff. And I don't know if they put something over the windows, but that's going to be the thing, is that the wind is going to, it's going to be the demise of the people. It's going to destroy everything and everyone that's in its path. So that is, and it's supposed to start, tonight in the middle of the fucking night. Over here, it's been so doom and gloom too. All yesterday, I was watching these videos and it was just pouring and pouring and pouring here. My yard kept filling up with water and it was like fucking with my head. Because I'm like, the flood's not even happening here, but it's happening here, but it's happening. Like, it was like really messing with me. And it was supposed to have stopped raining. It was still raining this morning, so I don't know. I'm planning on trying to go like around 8:30 after the school bus goes by. I was thinking I'll go out. Run to the weed store, get some of that, fill up my water, get water, and then I made all my order on Amazon. So I may go in and get a couple things in the store, but I pretty much have the stuff that I need. And then, so it's if my order gets here, if all my stuff gets here before anything goes down, is, like one thing, and people in North Carolina has said is like, these addresses no longer exist. Zip codes no longer exist. Like these places are completely gone. And that's what's about to be in Florida. And just, this one girl and her baby just keep popping and there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of new moms with babies and stuff. And then even in the comments, there's other ones. And, oh, God, how terrifying. But the thing is that they'll be together, when they go. That is the part I feel like that we just have to kind of focus on, the love part. It's people going together in these huge groups. Because fucking, that's one thing with Alexa saying, oh yeah, there's 100 people or something die from this. I think there's going to be more like 1 million or 2. And there's other people who are saying that too. They're saying, I think there's about to be about 1 million people are going to die. And but when we're thinking about that, because there's a lot of people who think like that the white hats are doing this. Like I've heard this too. They're clearing out the tunnels. They're flooding them out and stuff like that. No, the white hats are not doing that. It's more the white hats know what's coming, and they can't. That's why Donald was saying so much, like, we can't stop what's coming. We can't stop it. We can't do anything about it. Because even if you go and you try and talk to them, even when I went and I tried to be like, okay, well, I'll focus on the hurricane and move it out, then it was like, oh, well, just another one will come, and another one until it gets to where we're supposed to be. So all we're doing is prolonging the inevitable by playing games with the universe. Because what is has to be. There's nothing that we can do about it. And so the map is showing us that is what's to come. That is where we're headed. That is the future. And when you look at it, and this was interesting too, because there is this sense of this spiritual battle. And I saw this native an indigenous tribe person that they said, I just found out that they had destroyed the guardian of the area, some god, like Moana and stuff. Like there's these gods, like in the ancestral of the old tribes, that they would pay homage to these different gods of existence of these areas, and they would protect the areas. And so the one that was there to protect this place, they destroyed it right before the storm came in. And so that guy who was talking about that was just like, fuck, like they're doing this on purpose. And yeah, that's what's going on. There's a group that is doing this on purpose. And that's what I'm going to say is like, well, Max, dude, you want to see Max? He really wants to be seen. Hi. That this group that is doing it, that they, their intention is that they want to wipe out 3/4 of the population. So that is, they don't get to complete it, but we still have that to go through. Like this is their attempted murder on us all, is using the weapons and stuff. And this is going to be a very dramatic one that people are really going to see, like, this was a weapon. This is not natural. And there's somebody on this planet who's trying to kill us. And I don't know how it's all going to go down, but that's what this is a part of us seeing. So, yeah, it's not the White House are going in and flooding out the fucking tunnels and killing all these people. Like, that would make no sense. I don't even understand why some of these people... But it's just the same thing as just there's so many people that just don't have any clue what's going on. Like, there's so many people who are really, tore up and really wanting us all to focus. And they know that we could move this hurricane if we all put our minds together. Yeah, we could. We could all. If we were all in that same place, we were all to that point, we could all sit here in a meditation and we could move that motherfucking hurricane and we could destroy all of this whole thing. We could shut this shit down. But this is what we're going through to get us there, because we're not all there yet. So the people who are there, they don't realize, like, that's what I'm saying. They don't realize there's destiny. Like, this shit has to play out to get us to where it is we're trying to go. These things have to happen. So, and it's going to be a lot of loss of life. And there's going to be in all the different places. And America is going to be hit very hard. It's very, over here on the West Coast, that it's the Southwest is like a giant, it's like it's going to be gone. Just like how Florida is going to be gone. And I don't know if it's, they've got a hurricane that's about to hit Ireland. Is about to probably fucking destroy that place. I don't know how bad it's going to be, but that, you know, in the new map, but also Ireland is gone. Scotland, there's a lot of these places that are going to be gone. And I think that there's something, seems like that there's some storm or something headed for the UK or some, I don't know. There's so many going, and they're just going to keep going, but there's whatever one is going to come up and hit on this other side, and it's going to, well, a hurricane can't just do that. They do more things. So, and it seems like it's got to be close, man. Unless it goes down. But when you look at the map and you try and figure out how would that happen, how would this pattern occur? Like, I can totally see the West Coast. And you're going to see how that's going to go down, because it's going to have this big shift. And that's another thing. Even looking at the land, when I can see on the map, my place would still be there, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be opened and be a big gully from the earthquake. Like, I don't fucking know. I can't sit here on my throne and be like, yes, I chose right. I'm in the right place. Like, fuck, I don't know. Fucking hell. There is people, though, who are saying that. I did just see a video of that where somebody was like, and I don't remember where it was that they went to, but they are doing a video telling everybody else to come there. They chose the right place. Oh, and the guy, like, this is fucking weird. There's this guy, and he's a skinny old man, and he said God told him to come there and get in this boat and ride this little boat out through this hurricane. And so he's going to do it to show God's power. And he feels completely confident, no worries whatsoever. And so people keep going and talking to him and filming it and stuff. And he's very quirky, but he is on this little sailboat out in the water, just waiting for the storm to come. And he says God's going to protect him and take care of him through the storm. So, and everybody's like, that fucking guy's going to die. Somebody's got to go save him. He's like not mentally there or something. So that situation. And then, let me think, was that? It seems like there was another thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, because over here, so the earthquakes, the volcanoes, and the tsunami. So I can totally see how the West Coast is going to go. And right now, how it's like cold here and raining in California is like 105 degrees yesterday. And it's like 89 at night. So we have two systems that are going to hit. And that's the problem with the systems, why it's going to keep building up this hurricane, is when it hits into the next one, it shoves it to go this direction, because the weather turns it, the temperatures of the water turn it in certain directions. And so that's the same thing over here, where it's like a storm is a brewing. I don't know, but there's all sorts of little earthquakes that keep going, and so I don't know. I mean, shit can go just turn in an instant. And then if we're going to be learning about this disaster, but I don't know that it's going to take a minute for people to catch up and see. You know, it's not going to be the immediate discussion. It will be the immediate discussion for a lot of people, the government and weapons of mass destruction and shit, but it won't be for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of trauma and stuff that has to go through, because this other one, if it is by the same means, then they have to get it in there. So then I would think that they've got to hurry and do this other disaster to get it under the umbrella of us learning about the weapons that are being used against us. So it either have to be natural or not, but the way that it is and where it's at and stuff, how it's going to be this whole area gone, like New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, it's supposed to be up like by Oregon, Colorado, all that parts are going to be gone. And Wyoming is burning down. And there's something about the resources there, something about the resources in all these places. And there's people who are starting to catch on to that and starting to really get mad because, that's not living in union with the earth. It's not living in harmony. To strip her and take everything that she needs, or take everything that we think that we need, but it's this technology. It's this. So we're going to go back into this more harmonious living. That's where we're going to go into this time of peace and stuff. But all of this stuff has to come up to the surface, and the stripping the planet of all of her resources. And it's like the same thing they do to us, strip us of all of our resources so that we're all sick and stuff. It's the same thing happened to her, and it's the same thing as when we say no more, I'm done, I'm standing up for myself. It's the same thing that she's doing. It's all this micro macro. And so her standing up for herself, then that is what changes. It's like the nucleus of change, and the range as it penetrates out is the aftermath. And so we are all part of this change occurring. That's why we don't have control. We're like in like how I see it is like, okay, so say like a Jenga game, and the piece goes out and it all starts tumbling. You can't stop the tumble. We're in the tumble. We're in that part. And so there's nothing that we can do to stop it. It has to fall apart to be put back together. And at the time when we're going through it, falling apart, it's horrible and it's very distasteful. It's traumatic. It's traumatizing. It's sad. It's bringing you to your knees. It's, why, Lord? It's those, all of that is, it's what creates this big change. All these things are what makes this change. And then it's also a part of it, the earth has to move around. She has to shift around. And when we are more in a union with her, then we will take care of her and not be stripping her of stuff. So there's a lot of people who are realizing, that money, they're putting money before people. They're putting money before land. It's all about the greed and stuff. So, but still, I would say whatever's going to happen over here on the West Coast, it's got to be close. Like, there's going to be like this reverberation. Something's going to go down over here. It won't just be these oblivious people as these people are being destroyed. Something's going to come over here and hit, so that it's, and when does the tornadoes start? Is that more spring? Like, there will still be shit that's going to be going down in the Midwest too. But the Midwest is still going to be the safest place. I think that is going to be more of where people are going to be headed to, is like the Midwest. Even over on the East Coast, it's going to be like a sliver. It's not going to be really big, but the people who are over there will be places that they can go. But it's like on both sides of them, the water is going to come up. So they're going to have this one part. And, maybe eventually that will end up being kind of like islands or something. And then the bigger land masses are the Midwest, and then across the mountain range over here on the West Coast. But it's going to be very different on the West Coast. It's kind of like this bottom part's missing, and so this top part becomes like smaller. And so over here where I'm at, like Washington State and stuff, those are still going to be there. Just our coastline's going to be gone. So there's, anyways, when we're looking for places to go, we do need to pay attention to the map. And that one guy who said he found the place that's going to be the place that's going to survive, and he's trying to get other people to come there. And, but there's going to be some places that are going to be, and there's going to be more and more people going there, and there's going to be more and more mass exodus. There's going to be more and more, just like how the people in North Carolina are trying to save themselves or whatever. Now there's so many chemicals coming up that it's too toxic. You see, that's what I'm saying. The earth's going to keep pushing us and pushing us to go. And there's a difference between them trying to round us up and clog off our exits and open our dams and stuff like that than there is with the earth has a different kind of nudge. And so that's where you got to kind of get more into reading the signs But anyways, that's what all this stuff is about, is this awakening, about getting us to live in a different way, to connect in a different way, to connect to our reality in a different way, to quit being misled by these people who are trying to use our energy without us knowing that they are using our energy. And so anyways, now I've been talking about 144. So you got to remember what we're doing here is learn how to love ourselves, how to love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it is up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.